Today I'm going to take you through some basic rust repairs on a unibody, and also if you're building something yourself in the unibody style, how to go about managing your box sections so you get maximum strength with the lightest possible weight. Okay, let's get on with it. Now, I'm lucky enough to have this little reproduction panel. The dimensions are correct, and just helps that we know the thing hasn't collapsed at all. So I just slip it into the place where I've cleaned off all of the rotten metal. It slips into place up behind this lip here, and I clamp it on. So that's the original position for it. But what I do notice is that because it's a coach build body and these outside parts are different from the original Fiat, what I notice is they've left a gap in here. Now, that's going to cause a problem with the bottom of this pillar not being anchored as well as it could be. So I'm going to make another box section through here. I'm going to press it. I've got a pressing tool that I use just in the ordinary workshop press, and I will make it 30 millimeters deep, the same as this fold up the top here, slip it in here. It will have a fold down the bottom, be welded along the bottom into this inner guard section here, and that will have made a very strong, simple box section which will have reinforced this structure dramatically.
I took the dimensions for this panel I'm making now from the one you've already seen me fit to the car. This is an upside down version of that same panel, and the dimensions are good.
Okay, this is our press tool that I have mentioned earlier. It's a pretty simple thing to do if you've got a mill or even a mill drill. The depth will determine the size of this. The deeper you make this cut, the more gap you will need around here to help the metal to deform without tearing. Okay, now I screw them to the plate. What has to happen is that the top and the bottom plates have to be perfectly aligned, because what happens is when you put the piece of material in that you're going to press, of course you can no longer see that you've got good alignment with the bottom plate. So there's just a little bit of messing about in the beginning to get this alignment right. You just take the press down, get that it's, as you can see, these things are carefully machined and have a witness on them to show when they're perfectly aligned. So you do that in here, moving the plates around, and that'll get you a nice clean pressing. And where if you're too close to one side, you might cut the material, and the other side will be ill-defined. So the alignment is a bit crucial if you're going to do this. So pay attention to that and you'll get a good job. Okay, so the ripples on this side will be taken care of by the fold, when I fold the step in the bottom. Up the top here, I'll use the shrinker stretcher unit over there to take out some of these ripples, because this one is to remain straight where it goes between the two existing panels that we've got there. Righto. Okay, now, okay, now, there you go. Now, we just put it in again, and we do the 30mm fold. There you go. And that's it. All of those wrinkles are gone from the bottom.
Now just a note about how much pressure it takes to smooth this panel. Now I start furthest away from the edge over by the pressing and work back towards the edge with increasing pressure. In by the pressing it's quite light. As I get out to the edge, which is more stretched, I give it a bit more pressure. Now, not all shrinkers are the same, so it would pay you to test yours on a piece of scrap to get some sort of feel for it before you start on to your good panel. Now that I've got this panel here in place, there is something more I'm going to do between the two pieces, like the original replacement part that I bought and this one I've made, so that I can strengthen them so that they don't crush together. Now it's just a small partition that goes in here and here. I can maybe make two of them so that this panel, this one here, doesn't rock backwards and forwards and twist this way. Now what causes that kind of stress is the weight of the door tends to cause a rotational stress this way, and the other thing which exerts a lot of stress is the windscreen, which is being buffeted by the wind for one thing, and the other is when the hood is erected, should the windows be put down at any stage, what happens is you effectively make a parachute. So all of that weight in the back of the hood is pulling back on the windscreen, which in turn is transmitting a twisting load all the way down the bottom into the sill panel here. So whatever we can do to give it a bit more body, now is the time that we do it. Now I'll go ahead and make these little partitions and just show you what they are. They're super simple, and yet just weigh a couple of grams, and yet they enhance the strength really dramatically.
Yeah, as you can see, I've made the little spacer panel I was talking to you about. For the size of the panel, the strength is really quite surprising. It means that the panel won't collapse. It just gives that much more strength to the bottom of the pillar, which is the thing we're really trying to bolster. I'll just slip that on. Slips up inside of here. And that means that these two pieces are very strongly held together, and we've got a much stronger base for the pillar. I don't intend to leave it there. There will be more, but right for now, we've achieved what I set out to do. You could put another one in the front of the pillar. This one's back here, so you'd have a little bit of a brace up here too. It just depends entirely on how much you want to strengthen the whole structure. It's, in any event, it's a great deal stronger than it was, and I'm going to improve the bottom of this pillar as well, and at that point I'll be able to add some structure on the outside of the panel out here. So that's it for now on the sill panel. I'll show you how I incorporate it into the panels at the rear when we get there, but at the moment I screw the panels on because welding at this early stage would be really quite premature. So I'll see you when we start forming up some panels for under the back seat.